John, there's someone who told me last week that they reckon your trouble started with the right wing or Afri-MAGA or AfriSol, whatever you choose to call them, after the White House meeting with Donald Trump. I mean, you'll remember better than anyone else. You were sitting in that meeting in the Oval Office, and Cyril Ramaphosa, the president, pointed to you when Trump spoke about the so-called white genocide in South Africa, and you challenged that.
Yeah, I did challenge it, and almost immediately following that, the hate started on social media. And to this day, you can go on and see it on social media. People say, oh, you sold us out in the White House. Really, it would have been, I don't know what people expected me to do. Would I supposed to lie that there's a white genocide taking place in South Africa? There is not a white genocide in South Africa, not by any stretch of the imagination. And I'm not sure if people expected me, in the midst of an attempt to try and repair relations with the United States, to attack my own president in front of the president of another country on something that wasn't true. And I think what had happened is there'd been so much investment in creating that narrative. I mean, Trump's narrative didn't come from nowhere. It came from South African sources that were telling him there's a white genocide, telling him that there's persecution, telling him that these people were being murdered and put into mass graves, etc. That came from South Africa. And here was somebody in the White House now, who also happened to be white, saying, but sorry, this is just not true. Julius Malema is not in government. He doesn't have any authority. This genocide is not happening. And I was very honest there. I said, what we have is a rural safety problem where people are being killed in rural areas, and brutally so. But the problem is that if you don't diagnose the problem correctly, you'll never get the remedy for it. You'll never get the solution for it. And so diagnosing a rural safety and insecurity problem in South Africa as genocide, when the statistics show you quite significantly something otherwise, you run the risk of not being able to get to grips with what the real problem is. And we have a major crime problem in South Africa. Too many people are murdered, and there's a disproportionate burden, particularly on the brutality side in rural areas. And we acknowledge that, but to call it a genocide, I think, is a complete misdiagnosis. And I wasn't prepared to lie in the White House. And I think that what offended some of those people who had deliberately spent years crafting and cultivating this particular narrative with the conservative movement in the United States of America was, some guys going in and undermining our narrative.